Morning, everybody. Um, it's me, Reese, as you can obviously tell. It is uh, Wednesday the 18th, and I had to run and grab a hat because my hair's kind of messed up. So, um, I just wanted to just vent some thoughts that I had about a lot of um, the people running for candidacy right now. I know that traditionally the Republicans have been viewed as uh, religious right wing extremists, which they're proving themselves actually to be that. And almost every single candidate that I've heard so far has said, if I become president, I will put it into the Constitution that marriage is between one woman and one man. Um, some have even said, marriage when it was written in the Constitution that it was meant to be one man, one woman. Take a minute and look up the Constitution. In the Constitution, it says absolutely nothing about marriage. It does, however, state life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, writing something into the Constitution that takes away from those three, not only I think would be illegal, but un-American. Um, we pride ourselves on having our freedom of expression, our freedom of speech, and yet they're pushing bills like the piracy bill, SOPA. I can understand trying to block piracy. I understand that because it is a pretty big problem. You go onto a website, you clone something, whatever. People that know how to do that, regardless of whether or not you block something, they're going to find a way to do it. That's why they're called hackers because they know how to fucking do their shit. Um, but unfortunately, there's no way for those of us that are in the gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, queer realm, there's no way for us to hack or get around this particular issue. I've even heard rumors of them even blocking those of us that are transgender and get our gender markers changed and you know go through the whole process to make sure that we are as we believe we are, we say we are, and that we were really born to be. That we would not be able to marry our partner, whether it be male or female, depending on which side of the transition spectrum you went on, because the original documentation said that you were born male or female, and it would be considered a same-sex marriage. Um, However, a lot of these candidates have also said that they want to leave some of it state to state, which I think is a good idea. If one state does it, cool, and it's good and it works well for them, cool. Other states will follow. It's generally how it goes. And some candidates have also said that in place of an actual marriage like the traditional style, that they would allow uh, domestic domestic partnerships still, which great. When I was 16 or about 15 or 16, I came out to my parents, and the issue of marriage came up, and um, even back then, this was back in you know the 90s. It wasn't exactly something you could run down over to City Hall and go in and get done. Um, you couldn't really find a minister that was willing to go ahead and do that for you. From people that I've talked to that lived during that time and were facing those situations. Me being 15 or 16 and just coming out, I really wasn't expecting to go ahead and get married right off the bat. Um, and I asked my dad. I said, "How would you feel if I wanted to get married to the girl that I'm with? You know, whoever she may be." And my dad looked at me and he said, "Let me put it to you this way. If you're stupid enough to get married, to want to get married, then you should be allowed to have the all the benefits and Achilles heels that I have with taxes and joint bank accounts and everything else." So, so that being said, regardless of whether or not I'm transgender, whether or not I am actually going through my transition, I would still try and push this of talk to your senators, talk to your congressmen, talk to those in in the higher seats of Congress or whatever local government that you have. Um, you have to forgive me. I did just wake up not about an hour ago, so my thoughts are all really scattered. But we cannot bitch about something not being done if we don't take a stand. Period. We cannot expect to be taken seriously that we really want to get married if people don't stand up and say, you know what, I'm gonna fight this. This is really something that I want to do. Think about think about back in Stonewall. All those people gave up their lives just so that way we today could be openly out as gay, as a lesbian, as transgender, as an ally, whatever. They gave up their lives and their time so that way we could stand here. So what are we going to do for the next generation? What are we going to do? Are we going to have it be known in history that we sat by idly and tucked our tails and said, well, we tried? Or are we going to actually be known for standing up and saying, you know what, you don't have the right to tell me who I can and cannot marry? You do not have the right to tell me that I'm a second class citizen because I don't fit your standard. I don't personally tell other people how how they should live their lives and get who they should marry and who they shouldn't. So I expect the same in return. Don't assume that you know my life. Don't assume that you know what happens behind closed doors in my life. Don't assume that you know that if I get married to a girl that I really love, that it's just going to be extremely disastrous for your traditional marriage. It's not. Look at the statistics. The statistics actually show, and I wish I hadn't had them right in front of me, that gay and lesbian marriages have a lower divorce rate than heterosexual marriages. What's your comment to that? What's your comment to that? Children raised by gay, lesbians, transgender parents have also been shown to do, better in school. They are a little more well adjusted. Um, I'm not saying that growing up in a traditional family is a bad thing. I think it's all about the family unit, the parents, regardless of whether it's two men, two women, a man and a woman, whatever the combination may be, as long as it's not an animal, because that's just, I don't touch that. And coming from a traditional family and having the parents that I did, the level of education that I received not only about myself and who I could potentially be, because they were so open, because they were so well educated on current times and watching me and how I was reacting to different situations, it gave me a better chance to be able to have that open conversation with them. And really, that's what everybody needs, is just to have that open conversation. Just, they showed me that regardless of my orientation, regardless of my transition, all this, the bad stuff that I put them through, and trust me, I gave them a run for their money, that I was loved. Bottom line, that I was loved, that I was still their kid. I've been arrested. I've been arrested at least 5 different times. I've stolen cars. I've stolen things out of stores. I've, made annoying phone calls, which is, kind of typical of a teenager. I've done all the stupid, impressionable teen stuff. And it had, if I would have grown up in a same-sex family, I still probably would have done the same thing. I probably still would have done the same thing and still would have given him the run for the money, and I guarantee that I still would have gotten that reassurance that I'm loved. Bottom line, I'm loved. So how can that be wrong? How can that be wrong? So I've rambled on for about 10 minutes. Bottom line, if we want change and if we want this to be prevented, if we want the right candidate to be in office, we need to go ahead and stand up, and we need to make our voices heard. We need to affect rallies. We need to, get petitions going. We need, something. And when you find that one thing that's going on, promote it. Pass it on to the next person, because keeping it to yourself is not going to affect change. It's just going to hinder it, really, and you won't have anybody to blame but yourself. So, yeah. Those of you that are in California, I would definitely love to go in and get together with you, because I would like to start something here in, I'm in Fresno, California right now, but anywhere here in California, specifically I want to go up to the Capitol and do like a sit-in or something to show that we value our love, we value our values enough, we respect ourselves enough to be able to stand up and say, we're not going to let you tell us what to do. We I'm not saying, let's create anarchy, because that would just cause more problems. But we need to do something. We need to do something. So let's put our heads together. Let's get the ball rolling. If y'all have any thoughts on the matter, or suggestions, then feel free to let me know. All right. Peace out.